Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Hopefully, you enjoyed your winter break. Just a couple things here, to make sure we're still remembering everything that we talked about at the beginning of the year. Um, we're going to be starting a lot of stuff that's going to deal with a heavy amount of algebra as far as solving equations. So we want to, make sure we're talking about some equational stuff here that we can, we're making sure that we have an idea of what's going on. Just some simple things here. Let's say we have an equation that says 12 minus 3x, and that's equal to 18. Okay, so we have this equation here. We're looking to solve for x, so our final answer is going to be x equals some number. Okay, so the goal here is we're going to get this x completely alone. Um, and so if you look over here, I gave you just some, some general guidelines here to help you out. Basically, when we solve equations, we know order of operations. That please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Um, when we solve equations, we go in reverse order. So we get rid of addition and subtraction first. So we see that this 3x here, that means 3 times x. So that's multiplication. We have this 12 here that's being combined with 3x. That means that's the addition subtraction part. Since this is a positive 12, we subtract 12 from each side. And we end up with negative 3x, and that's equal to 6. So now we've gotten rid of our addition subtraction. Now we get rid of multiplication and division. So we divide by a negative 3. Divide by whatever number that is out in front, and we end up with x is equal to negative 2. So that would be our final answer there. It's just a simple, we're just making sure that we remember what's going on and so forth. But now we'll also get some more tougher equations. So we have 3x plus 4, and that's equal to 5x minus 6. Okay, and we look here now, what's different about this one is now we have an x on the right side and we have an x on the left side. And if you haven't, we haven't seen this stuff before, some people are going to go, uh-oh, what's going to happen? Well, I've got down here in bold, if we have variables on each side. So we're looking here, is any of these variables alone? So if like this 3x was completely by itself, it would stay. But it's got a number there, so we got to look to the other side. Is this 5x alone? Nope, it's got a number there, so that first rule doesn't count. So now we go, okay, the biggest variable stays. So I look at 3x, 5x. Which one's bigger? The 5x is bigger, so that means it's going to stay. We're going to move this 3x, means we're going to subtract the 3x over. So now we have 4 is equal to 5x minus 3x gives us a 2x, and we have this minus 6 tacked on down at the bottom. Okay? So now if we look here, now we're at where we were at that first example. Now we plus 6 each side, and we end up with 10 is equal to 2x. Then we divide by 2. Divide by 2, we have x is equal to 5. Okay, so that would be our final answer. So this is just a new wrinkle here. We're going to see, like I said, we're doing this to make sure we're aware of what's going on. We're going to see a lot more complicated equations here in the next couple days, in the next couple weeks. So we're going to try and make sure that we're getting to where we need to be. We will be doing some graphing of equations here again. And so remember, with graphing, we have the coordinate plane here, and we see the format. It's got to be in y equals a, plus or minus bx. Okay, so what's going to happen is we could see an equation that could be 4x plus 2y, and that's equal to 8. Okay, we can't graph this yet because it's not where the y is by itself over here. So what we've got to do is we've got to manipulate the equation to get the y by itself. So the y is going to stay put, so that means we're going to subtract the 4x from each side. So now we have 2y and that's equal to 8 and 4x can't be combined because this is an 8, this is a negative 4x. And so because they don't look alike, we can't combine them using addition or subtraction. So we just write it next to each other. Remember here we now then divide by 2, we divide this by 2, and we divide that by 2. We talked about this a little bit at the near the end of last year or last semester. It's coming back. So now we've got 4 minus 2x. Okay, so we've got 4 minus 2x. That is the equation that now we can graph. Okay, remember a is our value. This first value here is where we start on the y-axis. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got a point here at 4. And then we have this negative 2x. The slope, that's our slope value, that's our b value. That tells us how many we're going to go up or down and then to the right. So because it's negative, we go down 1, 2, and we go over 1. Down 2, 1, 2, and over to the right 1. We could go up, but then we'd have to go to the left. Remember, a negative slope, or a number that's a negative in front of the x, has a downward line. Okay, and obviously that line's not very straight, but that's what happens. Okay, so this is just a review type of a deal for us to help ourselves get going. You've got the worksheet with you to help yourself going. We'll get into more tough stuff later on in the week, but have a good day.